Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Yasharallah. Kol Haloyim Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakah Kwadash, for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwaf that's keeping the faith in the works. Y'all keep at it. That's your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 16 and verse 12. It says, "And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared." All right, prepared for what? All right, preparing for the valley of decision. Preparing for, matter of fact, Revelation 16:16. "And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon." Right? The final battle in the final war. Right? Final battle in the final war on earth. Right? Whoa. Right? That's what it's been prepared for. And we seeing it happen. Right? We seeing the gathering of the nations happen. Right? So with that, I'm gonna let this video play and I'll be back.
Spoken to the United States about sharing nuclear weapons. The Polish president, Andrzej Duda, says that he fully supports the idea of hosting nuclear weapons and has now approached the United States for the same. Nuclear sharing is a NATO system under which countries that do not have their own nuclear weapons host them from others. When asked about nuclear sharing, Duda said that Poland is open to participate in the nuclear sharing program and has discussed it with American leaders. After Duda's statement, Poland's de facto leader, Kaczynski, also said that he fully supports sharing nuclear weapons with the US. The US and NATO have publicly stated that they do not intend to deploy nuclear weapons in countries that joined the alliance after the collapse of communism. A White House official said that they were unaware of the issue being raised by Poland and have asked for more details. Poland's provocative statement comes as Western nations confront Russia over its invasion of Ukraine. Hosting nuclear weapons would defy warnings from President Vladimir Putin that Russia will respond to any expansion of NATO's military capabilities in its backyard. Since the war in Ukraine started, Poland has strengthened its military capabilities. It has increased its defense spending to 3% of the GDP, which is one of the highest levels in NATO. Currently, the only three NATO members who have their own nuclear weapons are the US, the UK, and France. Nuclear weapons are currently being hosted in Belgium, Germany, Italy, Turkey, and the Netherlands under the nuclear sharing program.
They are some of the most fierce, most feared soldiers in the world.
A lot of people in the United States, in Europe, everywhere in the world, they still believe that we are some crazy radicals, that we are barbarians.
But these Chechen fighters shared this video from the front lines, evidence, they say, that reputation is wrong. Pointing to these clips of Ukrainians cheering as they help to liberate the occupied town of Izum. This young soldier telling me, "It means that we're fighting on the right side. We are fighting for the truth. It means for me that people can live a normal life, something they never had in Chechnya." Decades of resistance ending with Russian troops taking control of their ravaged homeland.
They destroy each Chechenian village, each Chechenian city, and we don't have any family who don't lost brother, mother, sister, father, grandfather.
That loss and horror mirrored in the battered towns and villages, the constant attacks and atrocities unfolding in Ukraine. The commander of the unit, now leading troops to war for the third time against Russia, and never more confident that they will win, saying, "We are surely going to, because the whole world is behind us and supports us." There is, though, little if any support from the place they were forced to leave.
I'm not happy that people with same blood, with same language dying on the other side.
Thousands of Chechens have been drafted or volunteered, now fighting alongside Russian troops, highlighted by the leader of the Chechen Republic's threatening comments this weekend in support of Vladimir Putin.
Meanwhile, in the Mediterranean, tensions are escalating all over again, courtesy the Turkish President, Recep Tayyip Erdogan. On Monday, he made his first move. Erdogan's foreign minister visited Tripoli for talks with the Libyan government. He also signed a preliminary economic agreement. And now this is the second such bilateral deal. The first was signed in 2019. The second has been signed now. What exactly is this deal? Energy sharing and hydrocarbon exploration. In simple words, offshore drilling. Most Western countries have lined up to criticize this agreement. The US, the European Union, Greece, even regional powers like Egypt, all of them are calling this move destabilizing. The question is why? And to answer that, we need to look at history here. The Eastern Mediterranean has always been a hotspot. It is home to thousands of islands. The ownership of these islands is determined by two separate treaties. One is the Treaty of Lausanne in 1923, and the other is the Paris Peace Treaty of 1947. What do these treaties say? In a nutshell, that most of these islands belong to Greece. Only a handful near the Turkish coast belong to Ankara. On paper, both sides have accepted this, but Turkey has repeatedly made one accusation against Greece, that they are militarizing the Mediterranean islands. Technically, this is not wrong. Greece does have military bases on these islands, but their argument is that militarization is fair, that the old treaties do not stop Greece from stationing troops on the islands. So that is where things stand. Coming back to Monday's bilateral agreement, Western countries believe it violates Greece's sovereign claims, especially over this island. It is called Crete and is home to 650,000 people, plus it hosts a Greek military base. The worry is Turkish drilling expeditions will be too close to this island. Basically, it could violate Greek claims. And like I said, this conflict is not exactly new. It started off as a tussle over militarization. But President Erdogan has a different take on it. Recently, he said the islands were quote-unquote occupied by Greece. He also made a veiled threat to annex those islands. In the past, such verbal rhetoric has led to military escalation. Let me give you two examples from last month itself. First, Turkey filed a complaint against Greece at NATO. The reason? Ankara claims Greece was harassing its warplanes. Days later, there was a second complaint. Turkish officials accused Greece of using its S-300 missiles to lock onto a Turkish F-16. Greece denied this allegation. Until now, the Mediterranean conflict has been frozen in an uneasy status quo, but the recent trend is worrying. On both sides, there is little appetite to resolve this crisis. Erdogan says the Greek Prime Minister does not exist for him anymore. The Greek leader says Erdogan is strangely obsessed with his country. On Thursday, both leaders will be in Prague. They will be a part of the European Political Community Summit. And the way things stand, there will not be a bilateral meeting. But Greece says they will agree to it if Turkey asks. And knowing Erdogan, it looks unlikely at the moment. The Turkish president is in a great political position. The West needs his support for two important projects. One is to expand the NATO. Without Erdogan's support, the alliance alliance cannot welcome Finland and Sweden. And two, to mediate between Russia and Ukraine. Ankara is the most active channel between Kiev and Moscow, so keeping that alive is key for the West. And Erdogan clearly knows all of this. On Tuesday, he accused Greece of seeking help from the United States. He added that the US support will not deter him. The president, in fact, said that his country will do, quote unquote, what is necessary. Could that be an indication of a looming war? Greece certainly thinks so. Their government believes there could be a Ukraine-style war in the Mediterranean. In the past, the two countries have come close to blows.
Right. So you got all these different nations coming together with war on the mind. Right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. Right? The Most High of armies is mustering the armies of the battle, gearing them up. It says they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land, because ultimately Babylon is done. All right, who his allies are. You can read Revelation 18. The allies are the daughter of Babylon's, whichever ones are going to stick it out with it. They're going to look at this place and be like, I can't believe it's over. And yeah, it's going to be over. Right? Verse 6, it says in Isaiah 13, Howl ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. All right, so it behooves you to get your mind right now. Stop putting off what you can do today, right, for tomorrow. All right, the Most High is getting ready to gather us from our enemies. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 39 and verse 27. Says, when I have brought them again from the people and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, and am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations. Right? Then shall they know that I am Yahweh their power. Right? This talking about real deal being saved, not that fantasy Christianity being saved, where you walk around like you holier than thou, but in actuality you really a piece of trash. This talking about being saved from your enemies. Right? Ezekiel 39 and 28, then shall they know that I am Yahweh their power, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I have gathered them unto their own land, and have left none of them any more there. Neither will I hide my face any more from them. For I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Yasharallah, saith Yahweh power. All right? This is what we're witnessing about to take place, and we're seeing the beginnings of it. Right? It starts with war. Right? And this war that's coming will be different than any other. Right? Because it's going to be the last war on this earth. Right? So, yeah. Let me go to the book of Joel, chapter 3, and verse 2. Matter of fact, verse 1. It says, for behold, in those days and in that time, this is the time that we're witnessing, right? I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. I will also gather all nations, right? All of these nations, Greece, Turkey, Libya, Russia, Ukraine, Chechnya, all right? Babylon, all of these nations, China, Taiwan, right? And will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Yasharallah. That's why all of this is going on, because of us, because we the Most High's people, and he's gathering us, right, to take us out of the hands of our enemies. Right? It says, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right? So, hey, Most High willing, they set it out tomorrow, and, we out of here. But, hey, it is what it is. So, Most High willing, these precepts in this video were edifying. Call Haloyim Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakakutash Shalom Yashalom.